Good evening, everyone. We're going to get started here in just a minute. We have a lot to cover this evening. So we're going to go ahead and open up the waiting room and we are going to get everybody in here. We're very excited to show you some cool things tonight. This session is being recorded. I'll go ahead and start my video there. Hopefully a couple of you will decide to turn on your cameras as well. We'll do a fun little immersive view here to start. I will ask you guys to go ahead and mute your audio, mute yourselves, and of course we will have Q&A as we always do. So again, feel free to turn on your camera. We're going to share screens or my screen here in just a little bit, but we'll go ahead and let everybody get in here. It's 7 o'clock on the dot. Looks like we will have a large audience tonight. We have some guests from other real estate companies besides EXIT Strategy. Welcome, welcome. We've got people from Lemon's Real's coaching program. Welcome to all of you. Some of you may have seen she and I did a fun podcast for Social Selling Podcast earlier today.
Do it on here.
As I go ahead and ask everyone to mute themselves on the way in. Thank you so much. And again, feel free to turn on your cameras so we can see each other for a few minutes. Rose, hello, hello. Go ahead and change that immersive view. Let everybody in here. All right. Well, good evening. So we've got about 17, 18 of us. We know it is Monday evening, and typically we have a few people that bounce in late, and that's okay. This session is being recorded. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, so then that way you can get right in with us. This is, as I said, being recorded. So what we will do is this will be on my YouTube channel. If you are not already subscribed on my YouTube channel, there are things we do at EXIT Strategy I'm able to put up here. There are some podcasts, etc., that I do record property videos. So feel free to go ahead and subscribe now. That way you'll get notifications when there is a new video uploaded, whether it's something from EXIT or in another spot. So what are we here to do tonight, guys? Well, we are here tonight to talk about Linktree, and I have a little outline cheat sheet for myself, so then that way I don't get too off track, because sometimes I tend to do. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Well, why are we talking about Linktree? We are talking about Linktree because it is the best place. Let me go ahead and make this a little bigger so we can all see it. The best place for free. Jolene, I'm going to go ahead and mute you. Thank you so much. Anybody else that's not muted, please go ahead and mute yourselves. Appreciate it. Why are we using Linktree? It is free. My favorite price ever, free 99. And why I want you to think about using this right away is because we are starting to accumulate all these different links and all these different assets. And we are trying to sit there and tell someone, well, you can go to this link and you can find this property that I'm selling, or you can go to this link and request a CMA, or you can go to this link and you can do a property search with me. And all of a sudden you feel like you're a link master or a link retriever, and that's all you're doing all day, and it's very messy. And at the same time, you have consumers out there that are bombarded with different real estate agents. You may be bombarding people with different campaign messages. And if they're going to 20 different places to find all your assets, then that is kind of leaving you looking a little messy. And so what we wanted to do tonight was show you some different options to get all of these in one place. So what I do for EXIT Strategy agents and for the agents that I coach is that I try to go out there and kind of be a student of the business. I do still sell real estate. I refer out some business at this point, but my own database of people, I use them as my test cases and have them help me with the user experience. So for example, this is one of my open house signs. This is the brand new version. I could tell you, I think I've gone through about 6 or 7 different versions of open house signs over the years. One of the things that being in the field with you as agents has driven me nuts about my open houses is that I'm always putting those little pieces of paper up that says, oh, today 2 to 4 p.m. or, go this direction, but then ring this buzzer to get in. And it just seems like they're always a mess. Yesterday I did an open house. I had these new ones up. And because some of my clients said, I went to your open house in the past and the sign was wet, or the directional fell off, or the instructions were wrong, or you've got team members, for those of you that are doing teams, and the team members don't do that right even, or that you are, getting things scheduled a little bit later than you wanted to, and you didn't have time to make them. Why not do something like a QR code or a text code that goes to Linktree? So what is Linktree? It is a link aggregator. And again, it's free. So as a student of the business, and by the way, because this is being recorded, you can look at this sign again later. I can talk to you about vendors. Those are very easy and smart to do because they're permanent. But what's not permanent is the Linktree links. They are permanent if you want them to be, but you can move them, you can adjust them on the fly, and everything is completely mobile. So I want to give you mine as an example, and then I'm going to walk you through what we can do to add, change, etc., to make this better. So I'm assuming everybody can see my screen because it says that I am sharing my screen. This is my Linktree currently before I start to change it with you tonight. So you can have your picture on there. You can have a variety of different designs and colors. It is mobile optimized. It looks a lot better on mobile. It is a very slick package on mobile. But the neat thing is you can always be changing it up and prioritizing and moving the links. When I first started studying Linktree, Marky Lemons, which I know some of you are on here from her class or saw the podcast that she and I did together earlier today. I'm a student of hers, and she taught me about it, taught a class about it. I then turned around and watched how it was being used in media, with Instagram, with other social media influencers, with other big companies even using Linktree. And so it's, by the way, LinkTr.ee. So again, as it says in my outline that I'm going to pop back into just for 1 second for reference, LinkTr.ee. That is the website address to go ahead and sign up for a free account. I will always try to, in all my coaching, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, not following Project X, which is my coaching program that I'm developing and have developed in the past, I will always do the free version of things, so that if you are here on a budget, you're here to just try things out, you don't have to spend a dime. So for example, when I teach a class on LinkedIn, I have a very strong connection and presence on LinkedIn. Blessed to have some friends and contacts that have worked there over the years. It's the free version. I don't pay for a thing. I don't pay for almost anything out there, because what I found is if you are smart and really study things, most of the time the free version has everything that you need, including on Linktree, which is of course what we're talking about tonight. So your elevator speech of assets, what should it have? Well, Linktree's evolved. So if you are not new to Linktree and you're going, I could probably sleep through this and save myself looking at Nick's orange face, well, guess what? Some things have improved with Linktree, because they have now competitors out there, which, by the way, I read blogs, I experimented with a couple other accounts in order to really do this training well for you tonight. I found out that Linktree has had to up their game on the free accounts in order to compete with some of their other competitors out there. So what have they done recently? What have they done for us lately? Well, right at the top, you can have, depending on what template you choose, and you can choose any different type of template. Maybe don't pick the same one as me and everybody else on here, so we don't all look alike on it. But this one, almost all of the free templates, they allow you to have these links at the top now. Whereas before, so I'm using my, what I call legacy Linktree. I changed the design 2 weeks ago in order to start experimenting. But then what I did beyond that was I moved the social media links to the top. You'll notice that I still have LinkedIn profile, etc., because before they didn't have these fancy little links at the top. Let's play with the links at the top for a second. So Twitter, not my favorite thing, but it is one of the places you can connect on. Instagram is huge. So if you click on this, you go to, obviously, my Instagram. Then if you go and click on it and you go into the next one, it's the YouTube channel. We won't do that because we've already done that. What's the next one? Guess what? It's got SoundCloud. It's got, if you are doing a podcast, so I do 3 different podcasts. I have a consumer podcast that I use and try to help our exit strategy agents out to educate their consumers. I do one for realtors. So since we're all realtors on here tonight, go ahead and click on the follow if you're going to follow the station. And I have a really fun one called Stars of Exit, which is all the $100,000 plus GCI producers at our office from the past year. And this year we had 24 of them. So we've had quite a good number of interviews of what the heck are these people doing that are consistently hitting that magic baseline of $100,000, where at our office, we cap you out and take you to 100% commission at that point. So we celebrate those folks. If you've got a podcast that you're celebrating your clients or doing a lot of education, whatever that is, if it's a podcast, if it's a YouTube channel, Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, click on the little Amazon. You're like, well, what is that? If you have an Amazon shop, so maybe you're a part-time agent and you've got a side gig, or in this gig economy, you've got other stuff going on. I actually have a Amazon channel, as Amazon shop specifically for the agents that I coach. They can go in there and find some of the ring light. This is not the natural lighting in my house, clearly. Some of my favorite books are on here. So if you go in and you can adapt whatever one of these, if you don't have any of these, by the way, you only pick and choose the ones you want. I'll show you a little bit more about that in a second. But it gets your social media channels right at the top, because what you don't want to do with Linktree is make it only your social media. That's what we used to do with it, because that's really all it could do. And I was still developing content, and so was Exit. So now that we have a lot of cool content, and our office has brought on Zenlist as a partner, WiseAgent with the CRM and the landing pages, all of our additional listing technology. You may have great things at your company, if you're not with us, that you want to link to. You want to focus on those links down below. So one more time before I toss this out of my space here, here is my open house sign. So my open house sign, this QR code, we're going to talk a little bit more about QR codes per my outline in a bit. This QR code and the text message code both are going to go to my Linktree. So what that means is if you have something going on that's really important, suppose you have a home buyer seminar. Now, at our office, we do home buyer seminars, home seller stuff, charity events, all that. We're always trying to get something going on for the consumer. If that's what you're talking about right now, you're going to want to probably move that link towards the top. Here's how cool it is. Here is the actual back-end template on Linktree. So right now I've got my Cortland open house up, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about what I link to that later. But you can move, watch how quickly it is to move these things around. Watch this, up, down. So what if I said, okay, attend my training event. So by the way, we have a training event next week. After we get done tonight, I'll be switching out the Eventbrite, and you'll be able to register for next week's. What if you do that for your consumers? But again, most of us as listing agents and buyers agents, we're going to mostly be talking about buyer and seller content. You can be always moving those links. You can take them in or out. All of that stuff is right there. So let's get back to our outline. So that elevator speech, things, assets. Why would you want to do this now? We have, as I said at the beginning, more tools than ever before for consumers, at least if you're functioning as a real estate agent. I've heard some people say, oh, Nick or Marky, you have so many things that you're, giving us or telling us to do. It's like drinking out of a fire hose. We hear you. But guess what? Out of that fire hose, there's probably some huge items of value that you've set up once and forgotten about, like Cloud CMA. When was the last time you had that link that you were talking about? What we've all done is we've created a link and forgotten about it. I have Bitly, bit.ly. Bitly is a huge asset to me. I learned about it from Marky. I have only the free account, but I got a lot of Bitly links up. So what if you had, for example, and some of you that are at Exit Strategy have already seen this example before. Let me go into, let's see. This is my Bitly link. So let me do this again from the top. It's case sensitive, bit.ly. Look with Libert. So that's my little obligatory pun there. And it takes me to a landing page. Now, this landing page is from EXIT Realty's website template. So if you're at EXIT, I have a video on how to do that. You at your company, if you're not with us, probably already have a template of your own. Wouldn't it be nice for you to have videos up, some assets for these people? So that landing page, whether that's a long link or a shortened bit.ly link, should be one of your Linktree links. Okay, so that's one of your first big steps, is to figure out what tools you already have or need to set up. And if you're at our office, I'm happy to coach you through even in more detail that we're going to go through tonight, because tonight we're going to probably be here 30 to 45 minutes. That's it. My goal is that for you, because we do have the outline. Hopefully we'll stay on it. But then it's so hard right now for you to connect without a Linktree, all these links in one place. Even with the best attempts of me to get it all on my website, it's like you go to this page to find these 3 links, then you go to this page to find these 2 links, and the consumer's like, what? And you're like, what? You know, everybody's just, it's too much. So we've got to start almost creating a roadmap. So I have a whiteboard up on my wall. If you're at our office, you've probably been over to my house for our parties or our low coaching events. I've got this whiteboard wall in my home office, which is where I'm filming tonight with you. And I'm literally remapping out all the different assets that I have. Now I'm going to make a list with you tonight, and that's in item 3. But this creates also accountability for usage. So if you have, for example, going back to these, my current links, if you've got these links up, and for example, my daily dose, that's a coaching email. I haven't used that in a while. I've been going directly to our agents and working with the office, not using that link. Should be using that link. You should be able to create something that not only is super easy for your consumers to use, but also you can look at it and go, when was the last time I offered to do a free CMA? Or how do people set up an appointment with me? If you're at our office, you know how to do it, because that's how we do our coaching. You click on schedule time with Nick. We are going to add, by the way, something to our training calendar, and it will be for Monday Mondays, talking about Calendly, because one of the things under item 3, which we're about to get into, is how to set up an appointment. So let's add that in item 2. That is our item 3B, the second option within item 3, your contact info scheduler. And we're gonna have a whole class on that. But for tonight, what to put in this link tree? All your social media links. Absolutely. This is a relationship business, whether you are buying leads, God bless you. If you are not buying leads like me, you're working with your past clients, your sphere, you're trying to keep the cost down and your return on investment, if any, very up, and also have pleasant conversations, because who are the people that are least likely to ditch you? People that are referred by a friend or past clients and your own sphere. So when we're looking at that, how do we build that relationship? Well, next week we have a whole class on giving, but tonight we're just giving value. And it's also a relationship where they want to get to know you. Social media is a great way to expand on content, give things out, inform, educate. All of that is right here at the top, but it's not taking up one of these buttons anymore. So I'm going to be taking out and switching out buttons tonight, because if I've already got a YouTube link up here, why do I need a link to the channel down here? So imagine this, you're in an elevator and someone goes, well, I'm looking to buy real estate. Do you have all the things set up so that they can go on one area and find everything all at once? Probably not. Most of us don't. Do you have links to all your presentations and your social media, everything in one place? You probably don't. We're going to change that tonight. So let's get back again into the outline. We talked about your contact info. It's all right there on Linktree. They do have the little message button. You can also see the WhatsApp button. They don't have one to call you on your phone, but one of the things we're going to add tonight is your digital business card. All right. So let's get back into that outline. I'm actually going to move that outline over here so it's closer to me. Get off these other templates. Okay. So your digital business card link, how would you add that? Well, I'm glad you asked. So your digital business card, this is something, I'm not sure what other companies have it. I know EXIT, it's free to all the agents. You may have something similar at your company. it is a nice way to make this truly also more of a business card. What I did not like with the EXIT digital business cards, they're beautiful, they're very smart. The only issue I had with them is there wasn't the ability to really have all the links on there at once. It has some preset links, but I want to be able to put all my links. So how am I going to get around that? Well, I'm going to go into mobile business card. And again, if you're not at EXIT, maybe you may have this at your office. If not, maybe you don't need this link, okay? But for us, here's the link to my mobile business card. So I've got the link right there. What I would do, I'd recommend doing is, if you are going to be giving out your mobile business card a lot, but you'd actually rather have LinkTree be one of the links in it, watch this. In the middle section, I'm one of the few people that have played with this, and I'm like, guys, can I do this? And EXIT tech people are like, well, yeah, that's why we put the box there. I'm like, okay. I used to have, until tonight, these other things that said buy, sell, coach, and it had the bit.ly links. Well, guess what? Even those go to links that have 3 to 4 other things in them. It just felt cluttered. So as of tonight, see where it says there's the digital business card link right there? I can have people text me. So text Libert to 85377. It will give them the link to the digital business card. But also what I'm going to have it do is say, see all my assets for you at, and again, you can do whatever you want in terms of the language there. But once you've opened up LinkTree the first time, it's going to say my LinkTree. Okay. And you can share that. Get our stuff out of the way here. And you can see where it says copy. You can just copy that. Here's what I would not do. There's also the option, sometimes you'll see, to create a QR code. We're going to talk about QR codes separately from a separate vendor in a minute. So let's go back into the mobile business card and say, see all my real estate content and value. See, we're already running out of room. Maybe let's say, see all my items of value. And then we're going to paste that link tree. And then we're going to say, download my card, or well, let's just say my digital business card, because I think that's kind of a cool thing to say. And then there you see right below it, it's going to have that actual, see, the link to your mobile business card will automatically be added. So then that way you're ready to go. So you have the link tree and you have the digital business card, which has all your contact information. So as a matter of fact, I'd say it like this, guys, and thank you for letting me walk myself through this. See all my items of value, then it's got the link tree link. And then my digital business card, you could say my full contact information. And maybe just I'm going to play with that again later, but I think for now, my digital business card or contact info, you could say, or contact info. I'm going to leave it like that, my digital business card. So guess what? You can now then, of course, save that. And then from there, so if you guys want to test it out right now, you can just test it out by testing Libert, text Libert to the number 85377. Feel free to do that while we're here together. So then though, if you're actually in the link tree, remember, sometimes you aren't going to be using the mobile business card at all. Sometimes they're going to be scrolling here. And if they're scrolling here to this QR code, yes, you could have it go to this mobile business card link where it would then have this message, but I really like the visual of the actual link tree as your first stop. And then if they want the business card, they can get it. So if they get this first, the link tree, so let me show you this way, the link tree, you'd want to add the digital business card because you promised it to them, even if you're not going to give them the other link. So let's do it this way, add new link. And I'm going to call it my digital business card. Nick's digital business card and full contact info. Okay. And then it's asking for the URL. Well, we just cut and paste that from above, right? Nope, that's the wrong one. But see what we did here is we actually now we added this URL here so that now actually people can not only get your mobile business card, they can get the beautiful link tree with the addition of the mobile business card. So it's just a way to kind of combine your tools into one asset. All right. So then there's that. So look what happened. It's a live feed. Nick's digital business card is over here on the right now. And of course, I don't want that first. I'm going to put that closer to the bottom. I'm going to move that down. And if for any reason at some point, so for example, right now, I don't want the free realtor resources up because that site needs to be updated. Again, accountability for me. I'm going to take that out. And you can see that just disappeared on the right, the live link on the right. So everything's live. It is a living, breathing document. And then the same way, if you're going to do it from your phone, I want to make sure this is all mobile optimized, which is why I stayed with Linktree. And again, remember, this is not the upgraded account. Mine is the free version. I'd recommend you stay the same too. All right, let's go back to the thing, the agenda. See, I don't even use outlines that much, so I'm calling it a thing. So we talked about your contact info. Scheduler, have a link to Calendly or some other way, and if you have it set up. If not, just keep the digital business card or whatever as your easiest way to do it. With me, I really like Calendly, and then Calendly, they can go in and they can schedule with you. We will have a whole separate class on Calendly and how I use it to really follow up with people later. We talked about the digital business card link, buyer's guide, and seller's guide. I'm hoping most of you have a great buyer's guide and seller's guide. If you are at any exit office, you have I think we got a couple guests from other exit offices. Welcome, welcome. All of us at Exit have a digital buyer presentation and digital seller presentation. I have played with these a little bit so that you have a static presentation. And what I mean by a static presentation, these are all the presentations. I have a whole video on how to set these up because that would take 10 to 20 minutes we don't have right now, but it's literally as easy as clicking on managing settings. Thinking slightly outside the box or coloring very hard in the lines of using the tools that are already here and given to us and for free, I created just a generic Nick Libert Seller's Guide to Exit. I'm going to view that right now. And then there is a buyer's guide for buyers, which is amazing. So I've got one of each. These are the basic templates, and see how they've each got a little code, an HTML address to it. Well, guys, why wouldn't we just do that as one of our shares? Wouldn't we? I would think that you want a seller's guide or guide to selling with Nick, guide to buying with Nick, whatever your name is. So that's what I'm going to do. I've already done them. And all that's different is I say Nick Libert's seller's guide and Nick Libert's buyer and investor guide. Because again, I'm always trying to talk to as broad an audience as possible with the presentation. So there it is. There's the address of my seller's guide. And now I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste this right here, add new link. Nick's guide for sellers. Okay, and then I've got that URL coming. and that's done. So see, that's now at the top. Again, I don't want that at the top. I'm going to move it down a little bit because I've got my Cortland property. Oops. And I don't want LinkedIn Pro tonight. So then you click on these little 3 buttons to the left to move that down. So I'm going to go ahead and have the seller's guide there. Now I want the buyer's guide. And I'm looking, so far we only have one question. Can we create a link to our digital buyer seller presentations? Darian, yes, here we are. You are 5 minutes ahead of me, I think. So now let's do the digital seller's guide. And by the way, if you guys have something private to message me, don't put it in the chat because I have a habit of opening them thinking they're public questions. We had a little bit of a fun one the other night that I'm like, oh, well, we won't be recording this session. But for tonight, if you have something private, you can text me later. So with Darian being right on point, we're going to go into now the presentation for buyers. So again, you can do it buyer by buyer. They're great. If you're at EXIT, get the EXIT Realty Connect app, and you can also send them by text. But I'm just for tonight trying to create these placards, this elevator speech list of assets so that I can be with almost anyone. There was an agent at our office that messaged last week. She said, I got asked at the last minute to present in front of a home buyer seminar, big group. What an opportunity. Who can help me with setting up a presentation? I'm going, oh my gosh, it would take you 5 minutes to do it. All you need to do is get your exit presentations. The coolest thing would be, you don't even need the 5 minutes. Here's your elevator speech. All of it's right in one place. Are we getting the value of this? This is huge, guys. I really hope that you'll see it. Excuse me, particularly once you're back out in the field this week, maybe after the snowstorm, and checking it out. Now, here's the buyer's guide. Beautiful buyer presentations. And on the buyer's guide, there's also the buyer survey. I am pushing Exit Corporate to get the seller survey, which I have given them quite a bit of input and idea on as well. You can also always send these as PDFs, but why not have them in your Linktree? So again, this one has a URL to it. They all do. So I'm going to click on Buyer and Investor Guide, and there it is. Copy. I'm going to add that new link. Next guide for buyers. And then here is that URL. Cut and paste. Pretty easy so far, guys, right? So I'm going to, again, move this down because my focus for right now is going to be later on in the presentation on the Cortland one. Now, let's think about this. Is that all I have to offer buyers? No, that's not all I have to offer buyers. It's a pretty cool piece, but it's not the only thing I have to offer buyers. If you are at EXIT Strategy, what did I buy you recently? Zenlist. Every single one of us has Zenlist. What does Zenlist do as a recap? 5 to 7% more listings. So it's all the private network listings and preview listings than MLS, Zillow, Redfin, etc. Get your clients more in tune with you, gets them into more properties. So we need to, as agents, get that out to our clients if we are at EXIT Strategy. So I went and hit it already in Zenlist, either from the app, if you're at our office, or if you subscribe on your own, $60 a month. You can see if you're not at EXIT Strategy, it's a wonderful tool. Our buyers and sellers love it. But I'm going to go ahead and click on this Zen link. And then I'm going to create that as another button. Add new link. Request access to Nick's app or more properties than anywhere else. Now, I'm probably going to come back and reword that, but there is the basics of what it is. And then there's my Zenlist app. So that is, if I'm right now out and about, I'm at a home buyer seminar, I'm at an open house, and I say, here's all my links, request a CMA, request access to my app. You can get more properties. Now, what have you saved yourself? The trouble of, hold on, let me open up my Zenlist app, or let me do XYZ and send XYZ. So, it's all in one spot. So this could be great for your social media when you're doing a big presentation, when you meet somebody on the street. It is huge. Okay, just absolutely huge. All right, next up. Let me go back to my cheesy outline. The outline, by the way, was an idea of one of you when I was getting feedback. I said, guys, I want to know what I can do better. People were like, do you ever work with outlines? I'm like, I think I know what you're trying to tell me. So buyer's guide, seller's guide, Zenlist link, WiseAgent newsletter sign up landing page. If you were in our class with WiseAgent the other day, it was a long class. It was a good class. It was a long class. I'm not going to make you go through that again tonight. Just know there is a newsletter sign up or any landing page that you want. You would do the exact same thing with the WiseAgent landing page link. It was one of my big issues with their old CRM. They no longer had a way to sign up for the newsletter. I'm like, well, then why have a newsletter if you can't sign up? A nice newsletter sign up page. Now let's get into some real meat and potatoes. A link to each new listing or open house. Again, it's not just about finally creating static signage so you can run out the door and not have to have tape and worry about water and all that kind of stuff with the paper on it. It's a permanent open house sign. But it also is going to be really cool when you link it up to either, every time you have a new listing, the Expert Marketing Suite or the Virtuance. If you've got Virtuance as your photographer, they've got a great landing page for each property, or YouTube. If you guys have not seen it already, if we're not connected on social, let's connect on social. I did my first drone interior video. I think I'm the first or second person in the area to have done it. My clients ate it up. It was for the open house on Sunday because I wanted people to be able to walk away with something. And then also it was a great, in terms of like a video and asset for people at home. I talked about on my Instagram why I thought this product was so great. And the property actually went under contract today from the open house. What did I do at the open house to give people items of value? Well, here it is. There's my 2112 West Cortland open house today, 10:30 to noon. What does that do for me? Because this is movable, I can add in a second the button. I can take the button out. I can then have that link go to whatever I want it to. So maybe I wanted it to go to the video. I actually didn't, and I'll tell you why in a second. Maybe you are not an exit strategy, but you've got landing pages for each one of your listings. Great, good for you. That's what you do. So whoever is wandering through the open house, you're probably going to have that button at the top of your link tree. You can also have a QR code that goes to your link tree. So we're going to talk about QR codes in a second because I've already experimented with all the different vendors and found the free one that's good. So what I did with Cortland, if you click on that link, and especially if you're on mobile, it looks great because it goes to the Expert Marketing Suite. So it exits every single listing. Once it hits the MLS, gets the Expert Marketing Suite treatment. If you are at Exit right now and you don't know what that is, this is probably like exit orientation to you. That's okay. So I'm going to go into the Resource Center and I'm going to click on Expert Marketing Suite. And every single property that you have has a personal page for it. Now, my screen looks slightly different because I have everybody's stuff just as a training tool. Everybody's properties show up, but for purposes of this assignment, so there's C2112 West Cortland. Here was my issue with landing pages for properties or any sort of promotion for properties. I'd have in a Google Drive all the content from the condo association. For those of us that are responsible and upfront, get the property information, the condo docs, the bylaws, floor plans. What if I have a Matterport tour? They're in 20 different links and locations going back to that issue. So even before I ever thought of doing this training for you or creating the link tree, I went to corporate and said, and I went to a bunch of our competitors. I said, does anybody have a landing page for each listing? And everyone's like, oh, of course. Yes, I do. At most companies, at least. And I said, well, do they have text message codes? Not too many did. I said, including at exit, does anybody have the ability to attach or add documents? And everybody goes, no. And Exit Corporate said, I think we might be able to do that. And I'm like, well, could you please try? Because I want to be able to go in then and add documents. So you can go in here and see where it says upload document and add resource links. Guess what happens then? You can choose whether they're private or public. So I'm not going to put the listing contract in here. The buyers don't care. They just shouldn't even know about it. But like disclosures, things like that. Put a few items in each area. And so when you link to, in your link tree, the actual open house, all the documents are there. Now for Sunday, all I did was I put up the generic stuff. I did not have time to do the rest. Now for next week's open house, on another new listing of mine, I'm going to have the condo docs. I'm going to have everything else in there. The only place I've ever seen that you can add in all the documents and it still be a visually attractive thing with lead capture has been the Expert Marketing Suite. You can have a landing page somewhere else. You can do something somewhere else. I don't care. It's up to you. But I'm just saying, if you're at Exit, I liked these the best because you could add in the additional information. It's got all the points of interest, etc. You may want to do your own landing page. Good for you. No worries. But this is just a suggestion. The Expert Marketing Suite has the individual property landing pages. So let me go into the Expert Marketing Suite and show you how to get that. So we open this up and it was at, oh shoot, hold on one second. Go back a step. I'm going to close out the presentations one because we've already done those. There we go. All right. So what I did was I went into properties and then I clicked on my individual property. This is within the Expert Marketing Suite. And then I clicked on site URL and see where it says featured tour or featured gallery. Pick one. Doesn't matter which one. Pick one. And that is going to be the single property website with lead capture, with anything else. You've got your tours. You can do your Matterport links, whatever else you want to do. But again, the biggest thing that I like, this is the only place that has it because I tried to find it anywhere else besides going to corporate and bothering them. That these two things, property documents and property resource links, that is my work product with the, obviously, the programmers that did the real work. It was my idea. I'm very, very happy that got done because that is missing. You know, how many times you're like, oh, well, I've got that document. It's under additional information in the MLS. What does that do for the consumer? Nothing. Zillow doesn't have attached links. You can't link things, even in Google Drive. You can't say, go to Google Drive in the marketing remarks. That is a fine. You can't do that in the MLS. And almost any MLS out there, for those of you that are out of state, I think there's one or two people not in Chicagoland. Welcome this evening. Would love to coach you more. Okay, so we've done the conversation. Doesn't have to be about open houses. Maybe it's each one of your listings. Now, if you have a bunch of listings, you'll probably only be doing what I'm doing, which is you put the open house that you're talking about or what you've got going on that week at the top. You can play around with this because remember, you can have 8,000 links, but I would recommend not. I want it to be a powerful look to it. Okay, so there we go. We've got that much covered. We are at the 43-minute remark and we're not done. Talked about the new listings, a link to your full website if you're proud of it. I got to tell you, this is kind of overtaking what my full website was. I may use this and just still have the link at the bottom that says, check out my full website, and it goes to nicklibert.com. I may not. I may just leave this for a bit. We'll see. I'm going to play with that. Another thing, a link to your reviews, a link to your reviews. If you are at EXIT Strategy, you already have a training coming on Thursday at 11 a.m. It will not be, it may be live. However, we may be all snowed in our own houses. It will absolutely be live, but it will also be recorded and on Zoom so you can watch it from home. So I don't want you getting in accidents. Guess what? We have another new product rollout. So we've done WiseAgent, we've done Zenlist, we've done another thing I can't even talk about yet. And then RateMyAgent. RateMyAgent is amazing because what I've struggled with, again, is a practicing licensed agent in the field with you guys, coaching you guys, listening to consumers. and trying to focus on the user experience, the UX, both for you as agents and for our consumers. I've heard from so many of you, well, I've got 5 reviews on Zillow and I've got 19 on Google. And then this jerk over here wrote a bad review of me on XYZ site. What do I do? I love the term aggregators. You guys know that if you're in a lot of my coaching. I wanted to find a review aggregator. RateMyAgent is the best. It is the fastest growing. It is the most respected of them. And RateMyAgent, I've been playing with it for several months, the same way I did with Zenlist for 6 months with my own clients, and they loved it. WiseAgent for 6 months, and they loved it. I will play with this stuff first and study it to make sure that it's good enough for you, and then I'm going to pay for it for you. So RateMyAgent Thursday. Make sure you're with us at that training at the office, again on Zoom, since it's going to be snowing. But it is really a fantastic tool. Be proud of your reviews. If you don't have RateMyAgent, if you're not with us, it's not set up, et cetera, don't worry about it. Link it to Zillow. Link it to your Google business page. I don't care where you do it, but what most of us are running into, especially the agents that have been growing their business and focusing on reviews, is that you have clients that they can't figure out how to do it on Zillow because they don't have an account. They did it on Google, but then random anonymous person did it too. This links up the reviews from the different portals. It puts them together and it verifies it by property address. So if you have a bad review that does not link to one of your clients, it's nothing to do with one of your clients. You got a hater. You got a hater out there. We all got a hater somewhere, don't we? Sometimes they're chugging tequila in the suburbs or something. I don't know. But wherever your haters are, if they weren't involved in a transaction with you, this is how you aggregate all the good ones. Your clients do have to verify them if they weren't on Zillow, because Zillow, it's already linked. But this really, really gets all your reviews in one place, and it's so much better for all of you. So you can go ahead, and if you want to look at my profile, I'm going to go ahead and actually right now say view my reviews. So let's go ahead and say view my profile. And then this is what the consumer sees. And actually, let's just go to, I think you just have to go like that. If not, we'll open this in a new window. If not, I think I have to do the whole link. Let's see. Oh, well, that's not it. Let's go back to the example. As you can see, I have a few too many windows open tonight. Let's see if that sales overview, that longer one. And I've been doing some of this, guys, from my phone. So you can, what I liked about LinkTr.ee is that it's completely mobile operative. Every single tool that I'm coaching you guys on right now is mobile operative. WiseAgent, Zenlist, all of it's mobile operative. All of it also does have desktop though, because there's a couple competitors out there to some of these products that are mobile only. And some of you guys like me, I'm getting older. I'm 43, but I feel some days 63, 73. And I'm just like, I'm texting and I'm good. And I'm like, okay, I can't see straight. And my fingers have gotten fatter. And it's not just my COVID winter. I don't know what it is. I just can't text as well on my phone sometimes. I want to have a desktop version. All these products are desktop version. So here is that sales overview, this long URL, which we're not going to be sending to people. We're just going to send them to our Linktree, right? And here we go. Linktree, add new link. All right. So, and by the, oh, here's another cool thing. You can put little, see this right here? You can do a thumbnail. You can schedule the links, all that good stuff. Some of that is premium product. Some of that is not. So you can do little thumbnails. I just like, because this is pretty clean so far, the way this is looking. I'm not going to muddy it with thumbnails. I did research a couple Instagram people, influencers. some not so influential, but they did have the thumbnails look kind of cool. Visually, I'm a black and white type of person. You can see I like a lot of black. I do use a little bit of the exit teal. I'm going to stick with that theme, pretty clean and simple, because I do tend to also be wordy, for those of you that know me well or have ever read one of my listing descriptions. So we've got, now we need to move up again. Cortland, I think my second biggest item of value right now is my app, Zenlist, that you guys have at the office. Buyer's guide, seller's guide, check out my reviews, attend my training events. Again, guys, probably by 9 p.m. tonight, I'll have this video up on YouTube, and I'll have next week's training out, which is all about gifting. Next week's training is all about gifting. Talked about digital business card. We are wrapping up here pretty quick. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and hide free realtor resources. The coaching blog is just for our agents at our office. So I'm going to hide that. Actually, I'm going to leave that on. If you're an agent in my office and you forgot how to get in there, there's the link. And schedule time, we want that. We're going to take off daily dose for the moment. We may be talking about that again someday soon. And we did say my consumer website, I'm going to keep that link up, because the full, all the 8,000 different pages of my content, don't run. I won't send it to you right now, I promise. That is all on there. And some people do have those items of value they care about more. Everybody else is just going to probably use these links. We have a few more items. Can you stand it? Can you just wait a few more minutes before you go to the restroom? Thank you. Event invitations. If you use Eventbrite, if you just have a link to something, if you're at our office, it's the text code. So it's super easy. I'm always like, exit strategy events or whatever the code is I'm using, you can just use those. You may have your own events on top of that. You've got the ability. I just wanted you to see in the outline that suggestion. All right. Last but not least, create a QR code. QR code monkey. If you're on my coaching blog, a coaching student of mine, you know that I love QR code monkey. Let me go ahead and into the monkey. I'm going to go and do that right now. That's not it. That's Client Giant. That's a hint for next week. Stay tuned. So let's go into QR code monkey. I thought I had that still up. I will open that back up again. Let's get out of RateMyAgent. So it's QR code -monkey.com. What do I love about QR code monkey? It's free. It's free. Don't get the premium. They're going to try to trick you. Everybody always does. Oh, well, you can get these free features. Guess what? All the good features are already there. So all you do is you enter the content. What do they mean by that? The URL you need to go to. What is the URL you need to go to create a QR code? So I'm going to make this QR code go up close to you. All right. See that QR code? What's cool about that QR code is it's actually got my logo embedded in there. How did I get a logo? Well, my logo, our graphic designer that does these logos for you guys for free, she did my logo. It's got my logo, Nick Libert, Real Estate Systems, forgot my own logo name, and then EXIT Strategy Realty. They're side by side. They're equal in size. So then that way they're IDFPR compliant. Check your local state for their regulations. But then that little cute logo, which I'm going to show you how to do that logo in a second, it's going to point to a URL. You can have this logo. So I went on a little trip last week. Some of you guys know that. I had my logo on the back of my phone. And so when people said, where are you from again? I'm like, scan the code. This is one of the silver linings of COVID, despite all the bad things that have happened, is QR codes came back into focus. I think some of you guys heard me at the beginning say I've had 5 to 7 versions of my business card, of my signage over the years. Everything has evolved. I had QR codes before they were cool. And I had QR codes probably a little bit too much after they were cool. What changed and brought them back was restaurant menus. Nobody wanted the paper. Nobody could interact with the store clerks. So iPhone and Android changed their technology so that when almost any phone updates or sees you open the scanner or you open your camera and you look at the QR code, it knows to scan it. And that was the disconnect before. People were like, I got to open an extra app. I got to do this. Nobody wants it. And QR codes died. Well, they're back, y'all. In addition to what never left the building, which was text codes, which Exit has mastered text codes. They're everywhere. And of course, you have your own digital business card text code. But I want to encourage you to have the QR code from qrcode-monkey.com for you forwarding to your Linktree. So you would just enter your URL, which is, of course, what? Your Linktree. and your link tree is whatever yours is. Mine is that long one up there, / Nick Libert. Again, the easiest way to not screw up typing that out, because I would screw that up myself, maybe you might too, is to click on share and then click on copy. Click on share and then click on copy. Once you've done that in the QR generator, the QR code monkey, QR code-monkey.com, you can set colors. I didn't mess with that. Add logo image. Yes, I messed with that. And that is where I uploaded my logo. If you don't have a graphic designer, go to Fiverr or something. If you're at Exit Strategy, you have one for free paid for by me. So please don't spend that money. That's why I do that stuff for you. But make it cool, because look at this, guys. How cool is this? Look at mine one more time. And actually, if I don't have anything else to share, I will actually go ahead and just make this big here on here. Oh, we do have one more thing to talk about. It is, so create the QR code. It could have your logo in the middle. They ask you one more time. I am going to go into QR code monkey. I did not customize the design. That was a little bit above my pay grade. I didn't mess with this thing over on the left and right. Once you click on QR code, create QR code, you then can download it and run with it. Make sure to test it out. Not that I didn't test it out and screwed up my own signage. Make sure to test it out and make sure it works. All right, one more thing. We're going to go the full hour after all. Sorry if you had something else to do at the 45-minute mark. My apologies. Have the link on your digital business card so it works with text codes. We showed you how to do that. If you have a digital business card, everybody does through Exit. Last but not least, you're in a bind. You're going someplace. You have no business cards left, or yours are old, or you don't like them, or you want to try this out. Avery 8871 business cards. I'm going to say that again. Avery 8871 business cards. As a matter of fact, I will add them right after this to my Amazon store, so that way you can go right on there. Or you can, if you don't want to be anywhere near my Amazon store, you can go to FedEx Kinko's, where I found these in a dead rush because FedEx Kinko's told me they no longer do same-day printing and that I was out of luck. And I'm like, I am not out of luck ever. So I went and found my own, and they were sitting right at FedEx Kinko's. I think they knew that I was going to throw a fit, and probably other people had in the past. Avery 8871 business cards. They are little terrible. They're not great, but they're not awful. And they worked for me all through this trip, where then it can do the QR code. You can add designs, or again, go to your graphic designer at our office. Go to Amanda for free. She'll design them. She'll print them out for you. They'll look great. QR codes, text message codes, all going to Linktree, so that you can have a walking, portable center of all your real estate assets and items of value to set you apart. Thank you guys very much for being here. If you have any questions, feel free to set up a coaching session with me. If you're at Exit Strategy, we will have another class next week. Same time, 7 p.m. We'll probably run 45 minutes, and at least that's what I'll tell you, and it'll go a full hour if it went like tonight. It's all about gifting, all about gifting. And what are we talking about with gifting? Past clients, current clients, VIPs, automating gifting, connecting it with your CRM, whether it's a Starbucks gift card, it is a personal note. I have all different kinds of ways to gift, and some of them actually very expensive and some of them very cheap. Ways to stay in touch and make yourself top of mind. Hope tonight was valuable for you. Thank you guys very much. And you have a great rest of your evening. Stay safe in the snow this week. Bye-bye.